Hey everyone, it's Synth Designer back again with another video. Today I'm going to be looking at how to create slow and moody synthwave. Now when you think of synthwave, I think of kind of more outrun style where it's a little bit more up-tempo, a little bit more upbeat, but there's a lot of synthwave out there that is very kind of mellow and also moody. And I kind of want to explore the slower side of synthwave today and just get some sounds going that kind of create that vibe. Now, there's a bunch of ways we can do this, and we're going to have to just kind of experiment to see where it goes. So far, I just have a bass setup and a basic pad, and I'll show you how I created those and the sounds I'm using. And then from there, we're going to see kind of what kind of sounds we could use to create a more moody synthwave style. So let's just explore things and see where it takes us. So let's just start off by, I'm going to play you this bass sound here that I have. So as you can see, it's super simple, but it's a little bit different than your usual bass pattern. As you can see here, I'm jumping the octave here between each note, and I have this preset here. This is from Synthwave Essentials Volume 4. If you're not familiar with this, I have tons of presets out at synthdesigner.com, all available for free for Vital and Serum. Please go there and download these at no cost at all. But this one's called Saw Power, and obviously based on the saw. A nice simple bass pattern here. And that's going to get us started. So what I like to do is just take those notes and build chords off of those, obviously. So pattern 2 here, we have this nice little pad here. And as you can hear, this one is a little bit more vintagey and moody to kind of set the tone. So it's going to give us that nice warm sound to it, and we're going to be able to take things from there. This one's called Well Lit Street. Just a nice pad here. Let's add this into our pattern here and see how these sound together. As you can see here, I took out some of these lows as well, just to give the bass a little bit more room. So it's got a nice little start here, and as a trick here, I like to think of an ARP maybe next. So I'm going to take this sound here, this pattern, and I'm just going to copy it. As you can see here, the chords here, pretty simple. They're based on the bass notes, but I created these chords here. These are all 7th chords. If you're not familiar with 7th chords, actually this one here is not. Actually, some of them aren't. Either way, point is, these are some 7th chords as well as some major and minor chords. If you're not familiar on how to create those, you can check out some of my musical theory videos. But what we're going to do here, and to create an easy ARP, we're going to open up a new pattern here, and we're going to open up a new instance of Serum. And we're going to open this up. We're just going to copy and paste these. And then we're going to find something plucky here. Obviously not a typical saw. So what we're going to do here is maybe find something from... Let's take this one here, for example, just to start off with. And we're going to add this to the mixer, and we'll see where this takes us. I don't know. I kind of like this sound. It's nice and vintagey. And we're just going to play the pattern only. But what we want, obviously, is an ARP. And the easiest way, so we're going to just play this out, and then we're going to press Alt-A. Gives us a nice ARP already. So as simple as that, you get an ARP, and just by pressing Alt-A. Obviously, you could change up the ARP. I already like this one, so let's see how this works with the other sounds. And now that we have the pattern, we could focus on the actual sound design or sound element that we want. So let's play it all together. Turn this down a little bit. I do like this sound. This one's nice too. As you can hear, it has that phase to it as well. So pads obviously won't work. Try a couple of these. Let's go back to the original one. We can also change up the amount of sustain it has as well. So if we and the release. Remember to use your ADSR here to make it fit the song well. We have the pad already, so we don't want any sustain here at all. And even though it's a slow song, what allows us to do here with this ARP is that it kind of brings an energy and a differentiation to the track. Obviously, we don't have to introduce it all at once, but we have the basis there. And then let's just create a quick drum pattern to fit our song here. So we're going to take a kick drum to start. This nice limb drum is a nice one. So we're going to create a quick 2-bar pattern here and just click it in. And we'll want a snare as well. Or maybe a clap. I don't know yet. Let's see. Let's try a snare maybe to start. Actually, we have this clap, and we could layer it maybe with a snare. Let's try that. So let's see how this sounds. Maybe we'll just quiet this down a little bit. And we can also play around with this bass, and let's see how it would be if we sidechain this, or using a sidechain tool. That's just letting the kick come through a little bit better. So we've established a mood here that's kind of a vintagey, slow sound, right? And that has partly to do with the sounds we picked and partly to do with how we set everything up. And the next thing I think we could do is add some more sounds to kind of complement that ARP we have. So let's set up a new pattern here. We don't have to do anything too crazy either. We can just copy the second pattern here. And then open up this new instance of Serum. Just copy these in, and we could play around with it where you won't necessarily use these chords, but we might also. So right now, this is obviously on an init preset. Let's take a look at what we have here. That's a little bit not as sustained, but something interesting as well. We don't want it too sustained because we already have the pad. That's kind of cool. And it adds a little bit of transience too. Let's see how these things fit in here. See, we don't want all of that sound. So very simply, we'll just change this up to have no sustain, and it'll kind of decay out. That complements it nicely because we're not getting that fully sustained sound, but we're also getting a little bit of that transient coming through. So we have a nice sound there. So now that we've layered things up a little bit, let's maybe come up with some sort of lead, and we're going to open up another instance of Serum, as you guessed it. And this time, again, just copy the notes, again, just to make your life simpler. The way to create an easy lead, just copy the notes that you had in your pads or your chords or whatever, and then add them in, and then use these as a guide essentially for your own leads. Now this is going to be a slow lead to complement that quick ARP, and what we're going to do here is find a nice sound here. That's kind of a lead sound, and it could be sustained as well. Nothing too harsh. I do want it to be sustained though. So let's go back to different preset pack, maybe number 3. So I like this kind of vintagey quality to it. So we're just going to add this in. We're not going to keep these chords, but we're going to use the chords as a basis. So let's play this all out. And we're just going to kind of play around with things and see how things sound. So maybe just we'll focus on the pattern for now. And you could turn on the metronome. So now that we created the pattern, let's see how this sounds together. So it's all about the timing. And now that I created it, I kind of have to reference it back to what we were listening to before. So I want to make sure that the timing works together. And I noticed I created the wrong notes here, so it'll be good to actually And so that we have the pattern now, we have to think about the sound itself. This isn't coming through great. I know it's just kind of like a counter melody in a way, but We want to make sure it comes through. It's all about playing around with the sounds now. So that kind of works. It's really kind of to taste, but as you saw, the kind of ideas that we had here is to kind of complement everything. So we had that slow bass, we had the ARP that really opens things up, then we have the pads and the kind of layers, and then we had that counter melody put in. So if we were to kind of arrange things a little bit into something that makes a little bit more sense, and we're going to turn this off. So we have to think about what's going to work well. So let's take a look at from here. So maybe we introduce that slowly. Of course, you can add automation and maybe bring this ARP in a little bit more subtly. So we're going to open that up, pattern 3, and we're going to open this up just a little bit so we're not getting just that initial burst right in your face. So we're going to create an automation clip here. I'm going to start it here, and then we're going to open it up. Maybe just a little higher. So there you have it, just a very basic way to start a kind of a slower, moodier synthwave track. Now there's a lot of things you can do to further improve this. This is just the basics here, but keep things in mind such as the sounds that you're adding to it and the vibe that you're trying to create. We're trying to create kind of like a vintagey, low-key vibe to it. Now you can make it a lot brighter, but when I think of a slower, moodier track, that's what I'm thinking of, is more vintagey styles. And of course, you could get all these sounds from my preset packs or use them as inspiration for your own sounds. Let me know what you think of this video down in the comments. If you want to see more synthwave style videos in the future, please let me know. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all next time.